Hi, my name is Brandon Setterholm, sales rep for Syngenta. I cover Northwest Minnesota.
And I'm Jason Snell. I'm an agronomic service rep for Syngenta Crop Protection. I cover the north half of Minnesota and the eastern third of North Dakota.
Today we're standing at AgriMAX's research plot, and we're here to show you a new product we launched in 2019 called Miravis Ace fungicide. And we're happy to tell you a little inside information on it, some technical stuff. We'll go into what we saw from some of the data in 2019. Now in 2020, this is the second year. We're just about ready to spray this plot actually this afternoon. So we're going to get a look at some different timings. One of the nice things with Miravis Ace is you have an earlier window of application. We can go as early as 50% head emergence. And we're bringing a new mode of action to the market. It's the only head scab fungicide on the market that has an SDHI, and it also has a triazole in with it. So that SDHI is bringing a lot of the heavy lifting and controlling in the head scab, but also bringing very good leaf disease control as well. So we're bringing that triazole in with it, and with that we're able to have two overlapping chemistries to help fight off resistance. Even when we see it in a herbicide, we like layering those products with two herbicides, or two modes of action, to fight off resistance. So the biggest thing with Miravis Ace is you always hear that you can spray it earlier, right? That's one of our best compliments of this product, but the biggest thing that goes with it is you have very good head scab control. And one of the also nice things about spraying it earlier is you have a wider window of application. You can be a lot more flexible, whether you have a wind event coming or you're not going to be able to spray when the wind is too high, or maybe you have a storm like 2020. We've had rainfall after rainfall and storm after storm. So being able to time those sprays adequately just on maybe weather events to spray a little bit earlier, you'll see just as good results when sprayed early as the competitor's products at ideal timing. Still, the ideal timing of application is right at flowering, or 10 to 30% once we start seeing flowers. That is the ideal time to spray Miravis Ace. But if we see an opportunity where maybe it makes more sense to spray a little bit earlier, Miravis Ace is labeled again to go as early as 50% head emergence. Jason, some of the things we saw in the field with a lot of questions out there. Again, this is the second year now with Miravis Ace. Why is it that Miravis Ace can be applied as early as 50% head emergence versus maybe some of the other competitors' products in the market?
That's a great question. It's a question we get a lot on the market from growers and from retailers. And I think it comes down to the really high intrinsic activity of the adaptogen molecule that we have in Miravis Ace, the SDHI. It's very highly active on the Fusarium head blight disease, and it also translocates through the head. So if we can spray it on at 50% heading at the early timing, it'll move through the rest of the heads, the rest of the head, and get that protection spread across that head all the way through flowering. So it really helps open up a window for growers and retailers to get those acres covered at a good time and avoid some weather.
You know, in 2019, we saw a lot of good feedback come back. And one of the things we noticed that there's a definite color change. As you get closer to harvest, you could really pick out whether it was an untreated check versus a competitor's product. You could see right to the line where that Miravis Ace fungicide was applied, and you could see a better quality in the grain. When you took those kernels out, it looked a lot more cleaner. We're seeing increased yields, heavier test weight, lower dawn levels, and overall lower scab severity index. So very good, nice things we saw last year from the field in 2019. Super excited about what we're going to see this year as well. Another question, so with seeing that plant health benefits, so you'll see the flag leaves, that crop definitely looks greener in the field. Do you think it's going to delay harvest at all by how green some of those wheat fields are looking after a Miravis Ace fungicide application?
You know, what we've seen over the last year of commercial use and several years prior to that of experimental use, we've seen really no delay in the harvestability of that crop. It may look greener and it may look healthier, which is actually a good thing. It keeps those heads filling all the way to the end. It's not dying off from disease on the flag leaf especially, to kill it off and to limit how much head filling that can occur post-application. So we keep them clean, we keep them green, and they are higher yielding, lower disease plots.
You know, one thing, Jason, to mention with that, so last year we got a lot of Miravis out in the field, and a lot of comparisons versus other products on the market. There was not one time where that grower came back in a side-by-side trial where he had to combine or harvest the Miravis later, they matured at the same time. You know, maybe we picked up a 0.5% of moisture. We're picking up anywhere from 6 to 8. There's scenarios where we even seen 10 to 15 bushel yield increases. I think we were surprised by how much scab pressure we really saw last year. And I think definitely this year is setting up for a very big scab pressure year, because like I said before, you know, we're getting rainfall events every week, it seems like, in an inch here, inch there. So having a proven fungicide like Miravis Ace really ensures that you're going to have the greatest quality and greatest yield coming at the end of the year.
So we're at the AgriPro research site here in Fisher, Minnesota, and we have a couple different varieties in their strip plots with some different maturities. So we like to use this to highlight the different maturity range that you can apply Miravis Ace at. On my left, you can see a wheat field or a wheat plot that's at about 50% head emergence, just a hair past that, and this would be our early timing for Miravis Ace fungicide. On my right, the plot that I'm standing in is about 10 to 20% flowered, so a little bit later, but this is really the ideal time for most all other Fusarium head blight applications. And Miravis Ace is also very good at this timing, but the window between that application and this application really increases the efficiency of an operation and lets farmers and retailers get across all those acres that they need to keep safe. All right, so Brandon and I are here at the Fisher research site for AgriPro, and we are looking at some wheat fields that are soon to be applied with Miravis Ace fungicide. Now, the special part about Miravis Ace we launched last year is it contains a brand new SDHI on the market at the time and another triazole in the mix. So two different modes of action in that application. We're very excited about the adepidin molecule, the new SDHI that we launched in Miravis Ace. We're using it on many different crops. For wheat and cereals, it's a Fusarium head blight application, very high efficacy and very wide window of application compared to previous products on the market. We also see it in some other crops.
Yeah, so Miravis has a very broad spectrum. Miravis Ace is what we're standing in front of right now. We have a label in Miravis Neo. It's 3 modes of action. You have an SDHI, a Strobe, and a Triazole all in one. And we also have Miravis Top, Miravis Prime, and then just straight Miravis. You can see how broad spectrum and how many different crops that we have a fit for. And one of the things that fits this area really well is in soybeans. Miravis Neo is excellent on plant health, but also on controlling and suppressing white mold in the field. One of the things we saw, even on a dry year, maybe where we didn't have white mold come in, we see the plant health side of it come in, where maybe it helped fight off the drought stress throughout the year, help pull that root system a little bit better throughout the year, pulling up more water, nutrients, and also in more of a wet year too. It handles that moisture a little bit better, but it will be able to fight off not just diseases, but overall plant health and stress within the environment.
Yeah, we like to think of it as a very high stamina product, and the adepidin brings the stamina, and it helps us on cereal crops. It also helps us on the row crops. For the white mold, it has a label on corn as well for broad spectrum disease control. And what we really like about that is it has a very long window of control. So we can go on at that timing that you prefer and get very long efficacy out of that product for disease control. The adepidin molecule itself that we launched in 2019, again, used in very many products, and biggest control we're seeing in the cereals is for Fusarium head blight.